Hey everybody, it's Gypsy Wolf. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, I'm really excited. I have decided to start doing, at least for, a couple of weeks, an Herbal 101 on herbs or botanicals that are most commonly used in witchcraft. So before I get into all of that, again, my name is Gypsy Wolf, and this channel is all things witchcraft. I show you spells, potions, herbs, all that kind of fun stuff. So if it's something you want to learn more about, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit that bell and join this witchy community because we have a lot of fun here. And if you're one of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for joining me yet again. And don't forget, guys, we're this close to a big giveaway. So watch till the end of the video to find out, if you don't already know, how to be entered into it. Okay, so join me real quick in your comfy PJs or whatever. I'm in my comfy kimono robe. All that, just got a nice cleansing aura bath, all that good stuff, and cannot wait to share with you the first herb. It's my favorite, and I guarantee it's probably most of your favorite herb as well. None other than rosemary. I don't have a pretty jar that it's in, but that's all right. It at least has the green jar to let me know, as if I need to know what it is. Come on, it's rosemary. So let me put some on my tray to show you guys. Just the smell is heaven. So I'm just gonna put some on my tray so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like if you're not completely certain. I mean, most people cook with it, so I would think that you are, but this is rosemary here. Now, I'm going to be giving you some of the medicinal uses of rosemary as well as the magical, because I really truly believe that if you know at least some of the medicinal uses of the botanicals that you're using, it will open up ideas for you on how to use it magically as well. Okay? So first of all, I will start with the medicinal uses. So it's an antispasmodic, meaning that how do I put this? It relaxes the smooth lining of the muscles. So this is really good for your digestive tract. So if you have tummy troubles, making a tea out of it or a tincture out of it is fantastic. Also, it can be used if you have, maybe a bad period, bad cramps. It can help with that. However, if you are pregnant or planning to become pregnant, I would not use rosemary in a tincture or a tea form because it also can bring on your period. So you can use it in any other way, but just don't consume it in those ways, okay? So yes, like I said, antispasmodic, so it can help your digestive tract, bad cramps, things like that. It's also a very good antibacterial. So let's say you're out in the garden pruning and you get a little nick on your hand or your finger. You can take a little bit of fresh rosemary, crush it up, put it on that wound as you're going into the house to rinse it off and put your bandage on it. That will take care of, a lot of any type of infection that might occur. Lastly, well, no, there are two more. So it's also said to be very good for your memory. So maybe you're studying for a test or your child is studying for a test. Having the scent of rosemary around will help with the memory. So you could put a fresh rosemary plant in the room. You could put some rosemary essential oil in an oil diffuser, something like that. If you're studying for a test, something like that. Okay? Lastly, it's wonderful for nasal and chest congestion. I love it. To me, it's right there with eucalyptus. So a lot of times, let's say you have all that congestion going on, maybe before you turn on your shower, you take maybe 3 drops, 2 to 3 drops of rosemary essential oil, put it on the bottom of the tub, and let that hot water turn on. Let the steam come up and those fumes come up, and you get in that shower. It really will clear you out. It's great, and it smells good. Okay, so I'm pretty much going to stop there as far as the medicinal uses, because I know you guys are pretty much here for magical uses, right? Right. Okay, so I find rosemary to be the most protective herb out there, point blank. But I'm going to give you a little information that is from the book by Scott Cunningham, his Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, okay? So each botanical has a gender, a planet, and an element that it represents. So for rosemary, it represents masculine gender. The planet it represents is the sun, and the element it represents is fire, okay? And under the powers that it has in his book, it says protection, love, lust, mental powers, exorcism, purification, healing, sleep, youth. I mean, rosemary does everything. It really, really does. I mean, I use it for everything. Another fun tidbit about rosemary. If one of your spells calls for frankincense and you don't have that, rosemary is the substitute for frankincense resin. And let's be honest, rosemary is a lot more easily to obtain, right? Rosemary is great in kitchen magic. I mean, because I cook with it pretty much all the time. It's one of my favorite herbs to cook with. So when I add it to something, I just quickly tell it what I want it to do. What's one of the wonderful things about rosemary is you don't have to sit there and charge it for long, for what you want it to do. It quickly picks up on the vibrations that you want, okay? So you can use it that way in kitchen magic, all that fun stuff. Let me give you a little bit of, I took notes, a little bit of the info from Scott Cunningham's book. So apparently it was common to wash the hands with a mixture of rosemary and juniper berries before healing work, which I think is really interesting. And it was burned in sick rooms to promote healing. And it was often grown to attract elves. And it is common, and a common substitute for frankincense. Okay, I got that from Scott Cunningham. Okay, so you can use this in anything. You can, if you're making a pop-out of yourself, which a lot of people don't think is common, but it is, or doll baby, whatever. You can make a little doll baby of yourself and stuff it with rosemary for protection. Let's say you have a date coming up, you really like this person. You can make a little mojo bag and put some rosemary in it and tell the rosemary what you want it to do. You want to attract love, lust, things like that. If you're trying to purify a space, use like a little cauldron, something like that, with, self-lit charcoal. Put a little bit of dried rosemary on there. Wave it around. That's really good, especially if you're doing spirit work and you want to make sure that you do not want to attract any negative spirits. You want to keep them at bay, all right? That's a really good way to keep the negative out. Another way I like to use it, and I am no Martha Stewart by any means, but I tend to grow several rosemary plants. And I will take large sprigs when we are in, late spring, early summer, and form it into a circle. And I will take, I guess it's not crafting twine, but crafting wire. You can buy it at the Dollar Tree. And I'll make like a teeny little wreath out of it. Take a pretty ribbon, make a bow at the top, and I will hang that wherever I feel like negativity may come into my home. So it can be your front door, your back door, a window, your bedroom door. Above your bed is great if you're having bad dreams, or your children are having bad dreams. Put that above their bed, something like that. If you're trying to protect your car. You know, a little mojo bag of rosemary in there is great, you know. I also really like using it in floor washes. So a lot of times when I'm cleansing my floors, I'll take the hot water and I will put some fresh rosemary in there along with some fresh lemon peel, and I will use that, and that just completely clears away all negative energies, and it brings in this sense of peace and protection, and you feel very safe, and I really like that about it. All right, guys, I didn't want to make this video too long. I wanted to keep it under 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. If you have a very in-depth question, feel free to email me at magicalgypsywolf@gmail.com. And yeah, like I said, those are the main uses for rosemary, but they are endless. So if there is an herb you don't have and you see it in a spell, substitute it with rosemary, and I promise you, you will not have a problem. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and guys, I really hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know what other herbs, botanicals you want to hear about, and I hope to be doing this once or twice a week. All right, guys, as always, blessed be.